Hey everybody, it's Mooncrash. We're climbing back into the simulator. I'm the last Robokai, and as always, I'm joined by Cool Guy.
Dude guy watching the dude crash.
So my intent for going into this episode is to try and do the volunteers' story objective.
I noticed
Or was it?
the
Oh no,
distinct
sorry. I
usage
think
of the word intent.
sorry. My mistake. Today's episode is actually that's the next episode, so I have to keep
Oh,
track now. I've done so many. I'm actually going to be going in first as Joan and fixing everything up. Or fixing a lot of stuff up just to make it a little easier on myself going in. And then I'm going to go in as Claire, and I'm going to do Claire's her mission. And because pretty much nothing happens with Joan, I end up cutting most of it out. That's just,
so
that's
just
it's gonna be
a
first
normal
thing.
maintenance girl doing normal maintenance things.
Yeah, she just
The
goes and she
normal
makes sure
maintenance
everything
way.
works. So you guys are gonna miss out on lots of amazing me going around touching doors and making like mimic gates work. It's
Holding
really it.
G. You're doing a lot of holding G in here. All right,
Mm-hmm.
or F. I actually don't remember which key it is right off the top of my head to repair something. It's one of those two. Damn it. Launching dudulation.
No, it's just worth showing the start here. New variables,
good.
Nightmare Typhon. And now we'll at like when the yeah, you can see I'm really happy to hear about that. The corruption level goes up faster. The trauma centers, there's apparently less of them, and so obviously
Okay.
like we're zipping ahead to now where I'm sort of like getting set up
Quite a
before
zip.
leaving. And I'm like, oh okay, got these things.
Lauren Ladd. Man, that's quite a name. I realized that name has probably been up there like 18 times, so this is my first time actually,
Yeah.
taking it into consideration of how awesome it is.
That guy is always there. Which means that, if we don't ever go and kill that thing, like we're like canonically taking the fucker down to Earth. But assuming no one checked.
It's fine. One or two cells can survive. January was very clear about that.
Crosby would like to invite everyone to come enjoy the taste.
Yeah, I am sure. Ooh, hello.
Molecular
I
gastronomy.
am showing this off because I do something that will become relevant later, and that may sound extremely unusual, but let me tell you something.
You
There's
planning
plan.
ahead? That's I find that difficult to believe.
Yeah, just dangerously checking. I'm always like, I don't really want to deal with that guy because I'm afraid I might actually like leave the station,
Boop.
which would be awful. All right, time to fill this sucker
Yeah, you
with
have
candy.
all of those weapons and 6 neuromods and everything else. That would be a total disaster. Looks over at 100,000 pragma points.
Chasma points.
Chasma, whatever. These companies are all stupid. They are not worth
Yeah.
me keeping their names in my head.
The dumb companies who do dumb things.
Particularly on the moon. It's like moon madness. You do something on the moon, you have to be really stupid about it.
So I'm running into an incredible conundrum here. I'm like, well, I don't really need all of this stuff. I am actually really at the point where I just don't need to make stuff, and even if I did, I've actually sort of like I find myself picking up a lot of the already pre-made cubes of material. But it's like crud, all this food, all this drink, and I can't fit it in because I've got all these like really important like tools I want to take and ammo I want to take, and
It's a really interesting tipping point in the because I've been doing a nightmare survival run with all of the new stuff that this. I'm sorry, I was captivated by his humming.
yeah, that's okay.
So I mean, I went back and do a nightmare survival run of the storyline, and basically, like, I remember you had a number of moments where you were like where you were trying to go back and forth between the recyclers and everything, trying to make sure that you could properly look after yourself in the next step and the next step, and then you hit this critical mass where you basically had everything you wanted, and getting extra materials was more a chore than it was a real problem. And boy, am I still waiting for that tipping point? Like, it is insane on the Nightmare Survival run that I'm doing. Just how
the
frickin'
first time I
difficult
ever
it is.
played Prey, that point never came, so it was actually kind of surprising when everything went entirely my way in the Let's
just
Play.
like, okay, all of a sudden I'm taken care of. I don't need to worry about obsessively recycling everything. I have this huge stack of cubes. It's all fine. And you know, I was just like, man, that moment cannot come quick enough in Nightmare, because holy buckets, it's like 2 full mags to take out one bloody phantom. It's insane. They are scary as hell.
Absolutely. So we're going to be going in as Claire. We don't really need to take anything weapon-wise because we've loaded everything up on the operator.
But we are anyway, to a certain extent, because screw you, that's why.
Well, we get a few extra
I guess
stuff.
you're taking the free plasma cutter and saying that's plenty. Which
Well,
is true.
there is a plasma cutter on the operator. I already had like I left the
elite version I saw.
the elite. I left the elite version in the suitcase, but I had already had one. I grabbed the other elite one from the labs. Because that one that's in there, I think, is always elite. Because I've never seen it not be elite.
Due to
Hazardous atmosphere conditions.
Yep, and everything
Oh,
still sucks
so
out here.
No O2 here.
secure a breathing apparatus and remain indoors until the issue.
Oh right, suit modification is a Joan only thing. I completely forgot about that.
Yep, ain't gonna get much room here.
What a pain.
I'm like, well, I'm gonna take. I also repaired some of the guns with Joan before I started slapping them on.
Hopefully fortified them too.
I won't need too much. I'll leave some of the things on there that I don't really
Yeah, a
need
lot of
too
the
badly.
cubes at least you can leave on there until you actually need to do some crafting, which, you know, I imagine you might not even need to.
Yeah, and don't need you anymore, so we're dumping you on the floor. There we
Go
go.
away.
Gotta-
I love the obvious moral quandary you're having here of whether or not you should have the elite psycho cutter or the elite wrench on your one key.
Yeah.
You were just like, okay, psycho. Wait, but there's a wrench, but psycho cutter.
More importantly, I forgot I hadn't taken the shotgun off, so I'm like, where's my number 3? I like to put shotgun on number 3. There we go.
Yeah, that is pretty important.
We have our things we like. Okay, I think I got everything. I'll just do that because no good reason at all.
Pull out the mimic because we need more mimics in sombreros right now. That's what it is. Took me a second to remember.
This pistol is the anti-psychic one, which is nice.
Come over here, telepaths. I got a bone to pick with you.
Yeah, shut them down. And so we're gonna go over and we're gonna before anything else, we're gonna run off and we're gonna fix up the mimic portal so that everybody can have a good time. And
By everybody, you mean the volunteer.
yeah, well, I don't know if like the volunteer. Like I was thinking to myself, well, I don't know if the volunteer has to escape through a mimic portal for his ending, or what happens. So I figured it was just best to, you know, prep the story however I could.
It's kind of the canonical thing, so I mean, I'm gonna guess it has something to do with it, but you know, whatever.
Yeah,
Worst case scenario, you can just be like, okay, well, I'm just gonna touch that, or even better, our you cousin can go through there instead of, you know, murdering herself again. One of Alex's terrible damn plans.
There we go. Never really got in there before.
I mean, Neuromod up in there, that's just fine.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. If everybody else is okay with that. The Moonshark is very mad that he can't come in and eat me. And you have like, I hope this video accurately captures how absolute zero the fucking visibility is out there with that dust storm.
It is
Oh
true.
my god.
it's surprisingly simple to lose yourself out there, which I remember. I still remember I was raving about like how well that balance is maintained. You can see kind of where you are, but you can't see where you're going.
It's terror. And let's go fix this up.
Hack the planet!
Yay! Look, everybody, it's the hacking mini game. Everybody remembers the hacking mini game. I fucking hate the hacking mini game. That's only because I keep bouncing into everything. Ow! Hold on, no, hold on. Out, fuck. Okay, fuck you.
Okay, and 1 second left.
I should not. Like I said, level 2 hacks are the worst. There's like everything else. There's like enough time, but the level 2 hacks, it always just feels like time is at a premium.
So that's one that you forgot to fix, but not that it matters, since you know there's just a window you can bust in.
Yeah. Like, okay, well, I guess I'll get rid of you because that's a blue. And it's also it looks like 150% durability. Yeah.
Honestly, like I was kind of think of messing with you on that, your habit of backing out with escape like that, and because I was like, that's what right mouse button is for. That's you know how you do it. That's the prescribed way of doing it. And then I was doing it on my own game and accidentally activated combat focus like 4 times in a row and wasted like three different psi hypos, and I'm just like, okay, all right, I'm done screwing with Robokai on this.
In the end, it may not look so great, but sometimes sacrifices have to be made to like not fire your bullet wildly into the sky. If my mouse was a little better, it probably wouldn't I wouldn't have to risk accidentally shooting my gun off with middle mouse. But it's the thing.
I don't know, man. Like, I definitely felt a fuse blow in my brain every time I accidentally used a psi hypo or a psi power that I didn't want to use, and it was just like, I'm not sure how many more of these fuses I have before I just completely lose it. Just gonna totally go off the deep end over here.
And there we go.
Ooh,
we got ourselves a
we
gold
didn't have
plan
that
for disruptors. So now we can take gold ones in. And the gold ones you take in, I believe, have a random element tied to them as well.
Besides, electricity.
Yeah.
Electricity that corrodes people. Electricity that burns people. Forget the fact that it should be doing the latter all thing right now, but whatever. We needed something to step up and fill the taser from Siphon Filter's shoes.
It's a tough job, but someone's got to do it.
Nice find.
It's very important to remember that the Chasma command key will get us into anything, anywhere. Basically, that's like if it requires a keycard to get in, well, we can get in with this. We don't have to actually.
I mean, the Space Station 13 equivalents keep going, just because one of the most popular pieces of trader equipment on that game is what's called an EMAG, which is just a key card that shorts out any key card accepting door that you run into, and it permanently locks it open. So slightly more destructive than the Chasma command key, but same principle.
Mm-hmm.
Ole!
Okay, let's go.
Hey!
See, literally the only reason I pulled it out was just to have a hat dance.
I am not sorry for playing along with that.
Failure to comply will result
Lazy security trying to get a job.
in special items due on the monthly shuttle.
Ugh.
You can't hide behind Joan forever.
He's gonna try, damn it.
It is nice that statue becomes a permanent feature once you complete the story objective. I like the idea behind it just being like the more you do with this stuff, the more you're actually unlocking the actual station itself. So it's actually forming its proper shape.
Right, you're getting closer and closer to like the true way things went down.
Yeah. So remembered I hadn't scanned these guys, so there we go.
You're doing better on that sort of detail orientation than I would in your situation.
It's weird, my priorities.
Speaking of, hello, Mimic!
2 of them. Maximizing their jerk powers, but it doesn't matter because I have a very strong gun.
By their powers combined, they are Captain Jerkass!
Yeah, a very strong gun will get you through most of your problems in this game. There we go.
I love how unceremonious that was. It was just like she's really frustrated with this bullshit.
Well, we're gonna learn, Claire really fucking hated working here. Being the janitor fucking sucks.
Yeah, again, another true-to-life Space Station 13 detail. Everybody hates the janitor on Space Station 13, and the janitor reciprocates this by wetting all of the floors so people fall over when they're running by.
That's very rude of them.
Well, and then they try to, punch the janitor in the face for wetting the floors and doing his job, but, there's all of that. What the hell is... Oh, okay. For a minute there, I thought that was going to be one of the mythical corrupted harvesters that I've heard so much about.
I just do not seem to encounter them. Like, as the thread has sort of pointed out by this point, I've encountered an absolutely ridiculous number of poltergeists compared to, like, what other people have encountered. But the harvesters, corrupt harvesters, and things like that, I just haven't really encountered. And it's a question of whether I will or not. Oh, hello.
Problem found, he says.
Can you stop that? Thank you.
Seriously, I have no idea how he managed to not light you on fire through that entire thing. He was, like, pretty much booping you on the snoot the entire time.
It says he was waving it around like a complete clown. He wasn't even hitting you at the time.
I was fully expecting you to come away with some
mistake.
sort of burn trauma on that one.
That right there was a mistake. I shouldn't have drunk that.
Where they at?
Oh, there's 2 of them now, so I'm like, oh
Now
god, I
there's
better
two.
mark them both now. Yeah, so it's just
They're bloody multiplying
operators.
right in front of you.
Yeah, they're just like, what operator is just like building another operator. You are my baby now.
Something broken? Yeah, your face!
When in doubt, bust it down.
Okay, man.
He wants to give us the weed, it's fine.
Does he have a license for that cig of weed? Actually, don't bother answering that. I don't actually care.
Yeah, well, we've already talked about the nightmare. We don't need to re-invoke Nightmare Dad. Like busting in and asking if we smoked the drug. There we go. Just get our hack up.
Does that does the words hard? Does the nightmare still respect the whole install a Typhon mod and show up in the middle of the night thing?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
The nightmare respects one thing and one thing only: his right to beat your ass at his choosing. He does not respect your privacy. He does not respect your space. He is here to absolutely turn up, scream, yell, and slap your shit in.
Sounds like a nightmare. Ho ho! I don't know how I sleep with myself at night with all of those terrible puns. But I do!
Shaking my head here. There's so many inappropriate things I could have followed that up with. But we need to go visit the incredible Chamber of Custodianisms. Let us in, so we can have the memory begin. The music got a bit weird for a second there.
Yeah, and I thought I saw some weird motion behind you as well.
That was just some garbage being eaten by the harvester. It's fine.
Okay, sure, we'll call it that.
Like, is there anything in here I can?
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you just like checking all of your corners here, or what's going on?
I'm taking a look around, seeing what's up.
Coagulating gel.
For the bleeding that the VJ Bartier is going to be doing.
Yeah, you're also gonna need a skeletal reconstruction kit.
Claire, this is Basilisk. Orbital intercept M13 tells us there is elevated activity on all Trans-Star security channels. We think you've been compromised. We need you to destroy all evidence of your operations. I'll contact you soon with further instructions. Basilisk out.
Oh, so Basilisk is in this memory. Isn't that interesting?
Just showing up, murdering a whole bunch of people. It's fine.
Huh, it starts out strong. So our role here is we're going to be going out to different points in the game world, and we're going to be collecting them, and we're going to be stuffing them into recyclers.
Honestly, if you don't end up murdering VJ as part of this, I'm going to be slightly disappointed. Just create a
not
frickin'
VJ.
time paradox.
We are not going to be murdering VJ.
Womp womp.
I'm like, oh wait, the transponder's in here. I gotta find. Oh, there it is.
Oh, sure, why not?
Huh. Okay, now we gotta go. Now we gotta go junk it. I'm like, okay, I got the transponder. Now what do you want? It's like check my objectives again. Destroy the transponder. Okay. It's just like you can use a recycler or a recycling charge to destroy it. I'm glad they put that in as a hint. I imagine it would have sailed over the heads of a few people.
I really appreciate that it outright says I'll be sad if I have to kill Bocce. I always treated me nice. The rest of them can eat shit.
Yeah, like
Definitely noticed that on display.
yeah. So it's a little bit of interesting backstory for that. Is that she doesn't actually hate VJ because VJ was apparently a really nice dude. So I don't know. I like that. I like that touch.
Oh yeah, episode 2.
And then of course he's the one who kills them. So it's just kind of like, oh, that's what you get for your niceties.
Honestly, after that flashback with the whole neurotoxin nonsense, if that's how she treats people who were nice to her, man, I think that her hating you is preferable, just because at least that's a quick death.
Well, we can presume she's on the same sort of contract that Peter and Basilisk are both on.
Just basically perform or die, and then, or rather, perform and die. The die part is non-optional.
Yeah, who knows how things would go for Basilisk, considering. Because like we're all off in space, we're easy to dump. I don't know what they do with someone who sort of usefulness runs out.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we've already seen what happens. They're just like, whatever, just let him breathe in his oxygen.
Oh, I'm talking
until he
about
suffocates,
Basilisk,
it's
though.
fine.
I'm talking about Basilisk, who is on Earth. Presumably on Earth.
I mean, the same principle applies. You just have to put her in a hermetically sealed chamber for her protection.
It's just like, hey, it's time to leave. You have yourself a good time. Just go out through our special Chasma airlock and then just, like, suck all the air out.
Wait!
That's like... I don't know, that just seems like something that would take a lot of money to set up. And I feel like that goes against what Chasma is about. Like... I don't know. Maybe I'm the one who's crazy.
You
and
need that airlock anyway, okay? You're just using it for multiple purposes.
Would like to remind everyone that your mom doesn't work on Pythias. Thank you.
Screw you, Phantom. I'm sitting here listening to Claire bitching at people over the intercom.
Your mom doesn't work here is always one of the most common things you will hear in any workplace, because like 90% of people just don't know how to clean up after themselves. It's just I don't know what it is. Like it's like you make your mess, you clean your mess up. It's
really not that big of a big of a leap, but yeah, I remember when I worked retail, it was a long time ago at frickin' Radio Shack. I was so happy when I worked at like this crappy mall that was like it was a terrible mall filled with terrible people. Like seriously, I'm not even messing around with the terrible people portion. There were more crimes reported at that mall than there were in the rest of my town combined. Like it was just a hotbed for bad people. But Poltergeist! Just shove that fucking thing down his throat.
And he zips away from me. I'm like, oh, god damn it.
But I still preferred working there to, one of the actual like strip mall portions, just because there was no public restroom, and I had to deal with another customer that clogged up the fucking toilet and didn't tell anity again. Oh my god.
Yeah, no.
They did not pay me enough for that.
No. Yeah, you know what, Poltergeist? I'm trying to find you, but you keep running off too, so it's like...
Yeah, you better keep hiding, because you are not going to survive the whole...
I think I need a scan of one too, so it's like it's a little unfortunate. Yeah, corruption level 3 burns through pretty quick, you might have noticed.
I was noticing that.
They're using a lot of these a lot. Oh, it's up above. Let's climb up and get ourselves some more neuromods and some more stuff. I don't have enough room. Ain't got time to bleed.
You've never seen this?
No.
First time. Am I that obvious?
Don't worry, we're safe up here. The volunteer will come in first, right over there, followed by the Typhon, which this week is, Typhon Anthrophantasmus.
Is there any risk of an outbreak?
Nah, the Typhon gates keep everything locked down.
But what about the voltaic kind? Wouldn't an EMP disrupt the...
Oh, we don't let those into the crater. That would be a disaster.
It's just a little surreal, you know? Being here on the moon, under a dome, aliens, people with psychic abilities.
Yep, it's like it's not even real.
That is literally what I just said.
I know, I'm just messing with you.
No, you're patronizing her.
Well, he's probably had to have the ethics talk about, letting people in and killing them with aliens, like, multiple times now.
I also really appreciate that she raises a very legitimate security concern with regard to voltaic phantoms and the Typhon gates, and he's just like, oh yeah, but that could never happen ever because we don't let those into the crate. Yeah, I don't think a whole lot of these, like the entire idea of a Typhon outbreak is that they don't really care that much what you do and don't let them do.
It's a clever little hint though, because what they've just told us is that disruptors work on and EMPs work on the Typhon gates and can shut them down.
Yep.
So if you really don't want to wait, you can BMU them. And that's not something you really ever see too much of, so I'm glad they've told me that, because it can come in handy now.
Or it seems like a very good use of your EMP charges. I would definitely use that in the crater if there's like some dork on the outskirts of things, and I don't want to play around with the moon shark. Just be like, yeah, no, just that's happening. EMP time.
You can probably already guess where the listening device for this one is.
First two don't count if you're needing to guess.
Yep, well, it's up in Alex's office, but its actual location may surprise you.
Nom. Still one of the silliest things to me to just see people just walking through these shattered space stations, snacking all the way. Freaking head crabs are always in the vents. At least there isn't like a black kind of head crab or mimic in this game where, just all of a sudden it knocks you down to 5 health just to scare the crap out of you. Thanks, Half-Life. I really needed that one.
Oh no, I hate this one. This configuration is the worst configuration.
God.
That
looks miserable.
Thread the needle, yeah!
Oh man. Yeah, I will admit you handled that better than I would have. I would have just been like, nope, and hit escape right there.
Yeah, so it was in Alex's safe.
Okay, why
Mm,
not?
that's
I
a-
suppose.
Well, the strong implication is he found it. In fact,
You
that's
want
what
to
this is
see?
going to say.
Ah, yes. Officer Bhatia. Come in. You have a son in the AIL, is that right?
Yes, sir. That's right.
You must be proud of him.
I am.
Maybe we can find a place for him on the TranStar security team one day, hmm?
I'm sure he'd be honored. Was there something you needed?
Straight to it. I like that about you, VJ. Here. What would you make of this?
This is... It's a surveillance device.
And?
It's one of ours. Did you get this from security?
No. I found it here, in my room.
Sir, I have never given an
No,
order
VJ.
to...
I don't suspect you. I wouldn't have called you in if I did. But maybe another member of your team? Perhaps acting on someone else's orders.
I trust my people. I can't imagine any of them doing this.
That's the problem, isn't it?
Sir?
We imagine too little. Picture what it would take for one of your men to betray you. How they would do it. Why? Imagine if you failed to detect them. Then imagine my disappointment.
I'll get to the bottom of this, Mr. Yu. You have my word.
I'm sure you will. That's all, Officer Bhatia. You can leave that here with me.
So that's not actually the original. Like, I actually checked, I looked it up after the video where we originally talked about it, and it turns out no, it's not the same voice actor. Which
really?
makes sense
Okay.
because trying to get a Hollywood voice actor, like Hollywood actor, and like to voice more stuff was probably either prohibitively expensive or impossible to fit in the time frame. It's real sad they couldn't get a guy with a good
both.
rally voice though, but yeah, it's a completely different name in the credits. Because hey, I finished the game at this point. Oh, here we go. Hey,
God,
Basilisk.
she's still a fax machine.
Where? We've learned that Director Yu is planning to duplicate her personality onto an operator using TranStar's emulation tech. OC is fairly certain she'll launch the operator as an emergency measure afterwards. We need you to hide your command key on that operator. Your key has a few programs that will hijack the emulation process and make the experience terminal. It'll look like an accident. And then, when the operator launches, we'll scoop it up. We're still working on an exit strategy for you. I'm sorry. Everyone is scrambling up here. We've lost contact with our assets on Talos 1. I'm sure things aren't much better on the moon. Good luck.
Up here kind of makes it sound like Basilisk isn't even on the moon either. I mean, it isn't even on Earth either.
Yeah,
sorry.
I feel like a little bit of a butthole for calling that entire
Again, winning against the
fiasco with the upload one of like Alex's fault, because that looked exactly like one of Alex's stupid.
Yeah, remember I said we weren't going to be killing VJ in this episode. We're going to be killing Riley.
Sure, all right. I mean, she's a higher value target. Also, again, I still maintain, however, that the method in which they murder the crap out of Riley is much preferable to dying slowly and painfully from neurotoxin.
Yeah.
Not including all of the bleeding and broken bones and whatever the hell else you had wrong with you after the end of that.
Something I did want to know at the time, but because there was like much more interesting things happening. You'll notice the way the shuttle was usually viewable from Alex's office. At least I think that's that shuttle.
Yeah, there was like a glitchy stuff going on.
That's sort of how
there.
to notice that escape route's no longer there.
Mm-hmm. All while reminding you this is a simulation.
There we go. Job's a good one.
Okay, that's good. God, stop.
Claire, I'm very sorry. OC is... They're saying they can't dedicate any assets for dust off, and there's just nothing I can do. I'm sorry. You're on your own.
Boy, that seems like a really familiar theme in this organization, isn't
Yeah,
it?
doesn't it though? It's just like how surprised are you if you say anything but not at all, you haven't been paying attention. Okay, dudes. There you go. I will admit the glue charge made that just flat out ridiculous, and I'm fine with that.
The glue charge is actually really good for just completely disrupting the pathfinding abilities of these things. I can dig that.
They're not directly, effective. It just breaks the crap out of their AI. Just demolishes it.
Good enough for me, and I'm like, oh hey, that's right, I can scan these guys. I really like how it does that.
Come on. Come on. There you go. Boom.
Shut these fools down. Yeah, so
Nerds.
the game is now populated a little more with these security operators for this mission, and any we don't destroy if we're doing subsequent runs, they'll still be there for other encounters.
Yeah, I've been noticing that that this entire run has been pretty quiet on the enemy front. I presume because you purged this place of all life with
Yes,
Joan earlier.
Joan was doing the sweep so that I could have the clean sweep in clean sweep.
Basically, makes this a nice walk in the park with a warm cup of tea. Go away, security operator. Nobody likes you. Except that dude that you're apparently snuggling with right now.
I
wow.
love you.
That was.
I cannot think of any
that
human
was
being
some
I would prefer to go out
positioning.
with than you, my love. Just that room. That room being in that room. Yeah. So the story mission
it's
objective is
fine.
basically get out of this place, and it just so happens the escape pod we want to go to is out of this place. So yeah, easy.
I guess the entire idea is use escape pod, hope for best. I mean, I can dig it.
I'm never gonna get used to the duck shoving our head inside of our body, and then the game's remembering a little bit afterwards. Oh right, that's supposed to be invisible.
I always end up like parsing it in my brain as us just like ducking down and going into a fetal position with our legs up in front of our eyes. It's always an amazing mental
Yeah,
image.
so you can see we've only got 3 story objectives left. Now I thought like doing the searching for people thing was going to be one of them, but it turns out it isn't. So we've just got to do
Fine with that.
an escape where everybody escapes at once, which obviously would have been the last video if I hadn't like rather idiotically gotten Riley killed.
Ho ho.
But yeah, we do this. We'll only have the volunteer and VJ to escape with. And then, maybe we can get a 5er out of that. Who knows? It's recoverable.
Who knows? Yeah, I mean, you've proven at this point that you're more than capable of getting this done. The only time you've had any difficulty was when your brain just took a nap mid-mission for no discernible reason.
Because I was tired.
If you can keep yourself from doing that, I'm pretty certain you can handle this like overwhelming task that you
I have a
put in
tiny
front of
little
yourself.
Darkest Dungeon ancestor sitting on my shoulder at all times now. Every time... It's getting really annoying. Every time I open the kitchen drawer to get a spoon out, he's just like, trinkets and baubles.
Glittering gold.
Ah, dear.
And then when you charge up the disruptor gun all the way and just totally knock out some nerd in one hit, you hear a scintillating strike.
I love that game even if it doesn't love me or anybody.
And I love that game too, but I am not even going to remotely mess with you for not wanting to play it because that son of a bitch is stressful.
Yeah, I play it at like monthly intervals because it's so stressful. It's like I'll play do like 500 runs and then just go, okay, all right, I am feeling extremely oppressed right now. I'm going.
Yeah, gonna go do literally anything else. And, you know, you can hear, like, I can jive with a bunch of people saying, but cool guy, Robokai, it's not really that hard. You just do X, Y, and Z, and these parties work great. You're absolutely correct. Those parties work great. It doesn't matter. It's the aesthetic.
Yeah.
The aesthetic is so well done.
You get so sucked into it. It's like basically this. The corruption level gets higher, the enemies are sneaking, you can't see like very far in front of your face. This is stressful right here. Like even though I'm like carrying gold weapons and like I'm, you know, old neuro modded up and I've got health packs for days, it's still really, really tense.
It's not even just that. Like, one of the most important things that you have to watch takes up less than 5% of your screen in the upper right-hand corner. Oh, right. That corruption level. I mean, let's be honest, folks at home. How many times have you forgotten about that little meter being a thing just watching us? Now imagine how it's 3 times as easy to forget about it because you're actually doing crap in here. So you're minding your P's and Q's. You're looking around at that, you know, Phantom or whatever. You're being a good little nerd, and then all of a sudden, you know, some red lights start flashing, some stuff starts happening, and then all of a sudden corruption level increased, and all of the hard work that you've done preparing this place for a clean sweep like this one, out the window. Everything's respawned. F you and the horse you rode in on.
And all you can do is just be like the operator and go, wow, and then
or grumble.
Look, I did. I remembered to hit the button. I did.
Honestly, I would have forgotten again.
I done.
So you're doing better than me, bro. I can't help but take like a big sigh of relief every time somebody steps into like an escape pod like this, because it's like the end of a very long journey, even if it doesn't necessarily feel that.
That was
long.
clean sweep. As you can see, we earned ourselves another gigantic pile of sim points. We're saying we're pretty high above 100,000. It's pretty nice. And next time, as I thought we were going to be doing in this video, we're going to be going in and attempting to do It's All in Your Head. And we'll see how that goes. It's interesting. Until then, I've been the Lost Robo Guy,
and I have been Cool Guy,
and we'll see you all next time in more Prey Mooncrash.